Hello everyone. Let's move on to next video in the chapter some basic principles and techniques, organic chemistry, types of chemical organic reactions and their mechanism. First we will see the fundamental concepts of the organic reaction mechanism. You should know that organic reactions are more complex than the inorganic reactions. Most of the organic reactions involve more than one step for their completion. As you have seen many reactions, when we are writing the inorganic reaction, in one step we have written, but in organic reaction we will see that more than one steps are involved in completion of reaction. And what happens? Actually, some of the bonds of reactants are broken and some new bonds are formed in the products. And during this bond breaking and bond formation, some reaction intermediates are also formed during the reaction. And when the reaction proceeds in several steps, the rate of reaction depends on the slowest step. Means if in many steps the reaction is proceeding, the step which is the slowest one, the rate of reaction depends upon that slowest step only. Generally, an organic reaction involves two species. One species is called substrate and the other attacking reagent. As in your book it is given, substrate plus attacking reagent gives out product. This only occurs. What is substrate? Substrate is your organic molecule. This is your substrate, organic molecule. When any attacking reagent attacks on the organic molecule or substrate, some intermediates are formed. And after the formation of intermediate, finally products are formed. Products and some byproducts also are formed. Okay, in an organic reaction, the organic compound is called substrate. This is our organic molecule, organic compound, and it is called substrate. It reacts with a suitable species which is called reagent. This is attacking reagent. The organic molecule reacts with this attacking reagent. The reactions lead to the formation of one or more products. Okay, it is not there that only one product will be formed. One or more products are formed. The reaction may proceed through the formation of one or more intermediates. Some byproducts may also be formed during the reaction. Product and byproduct, both can be formed. The sequence is shown here. Substrate is that organic species which supplies carbon for the formation of new bond, and the other reactant is called reagent. Okay, substrate is what? Which is providing the carbon for the formation of new bond. If both the reactants supply carbon, suppose your attacking reagent is also providing carbon and organic compound is also providing carbon, then choice is arbitrary. Means this carbon also can be utilized and this carbon can also be utilized for the formation of products. In such case, the molecule on which attention is focused is called substrate. Means if we are focusing in this, then this is our substrate. And if we are focusing on the carbon of the attacking reagent, this will be termed as a substrate. During an organic reaction, a covalent bond between two carbon atoms or between carbon and some other atoms such as oxygen, nitrogen, etc. is broken and new bond is formed. Only you have to remember this, that the bond between carbon or carbon oxygen or carbon nitrogen is broken and new bond is formed. So those steps of a reaction which describe the breaking of bonds and formation of new bonds with the formation of intermediates leading to the formation of products and byproducts is called the mechanism of reaction. Okay, so those steps of a reaction which describe the breaking of bonds, formation of new bonds, and formation of intermediates leading to the formation of products and byproducts is called mechanism of the reaction. What happens actually, a sequential amount of each step describing details of electron movement, whatever things are occurring during this reaction, which is when the reaction is occurring, making the product and byproduct, what are the things happening, a sequential account of each step describing details of electron movement, change in enthalpies during bond cleavage and bond formation, and the rates, the kinetics of transformation of reactants into product is called reaction mechanism. So the knowledge of reaction mechanism helps. Why we are studying the reaction mechanism? Actually it helps in understanding the reactivity of organic compounds and in planning strategy for their synthesis. We should know this mechanism which is going to occur when we are just going on to do any of the synthesis. Some important concepts which help a lot in understanding the mechanism of organic reactions we will discuss next. Let's see the electron displacement effects in covalent bonds. Actually, you should know that electronic displacement in organic molecules may occur either due to the presence of an atom or group or under the influence of an attacking reagent. We have discussed about the substrate attacking reagent. So electronic displacement which is occurring in the organic molecule will be either due to the presence of atom or group or under the influence of attacking reagent. The electronic displacement can be temporary as well as permanent, and these effects are inductive effect, electromeric effect, resonance or mesomeric effect, and hyperconjugation effect. One by one we will see the effects. First we are going to start inductive effect. It is denoted by capital I effect or inductive effect. I hope you remember the chemical bonding which you have studied. Here we are going to discuss about your covalent bond. How the covalent bonds were formed. If you can remember, the bond between hydrogen H2 was formed, electron was shared. Chlorine was formed, electron was shared. That bond is your covalent bond. So just keep it in your mind, that covalent bond, and listen. When a covalent bond is formed between two same atoms, the shared pair of electron is equally attracted by the two atoms. The shared electrons pair is symmetrically situated between the two atoms. Let's understand this with example. H2, one electron was shared. If you will see chlorine, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this only is, this both is for both. Duplet and octet is being completed by sharing of electrons. Listen this again. When a covalent bond is formed between two same atoms, same atom, same atom. The shared electron pair is equally attracted by the two atoms. Means these two electrons are equally attracted by both hydrogen. These two electrons are equally attracted by this Cl and this Cl. The shared electron pair is symmetrically situated between the two atoms. Okay. Now, when a covalent bond is formed between two atoms of different elements, now we are forming a covalent bond between two different elements. The shared electron pair of electron is no longer attracted equally by the two atoms. The shared pair of electron is attracted towards the more electronegative element and the covalent bond becomes polar. Now see this. Let's take this example, C and X and C and Y. Okay, I'm taking two compounds. Here X is more electronegative and here carbon is more electronegative. Okay, in CX, X is more electronegative. In CY, C is more electronegative. Here I have given two examples. When a covalent bond is formed between two atoms of different elements, the shared electron pair of electron is no longer attracted equally by the two atoms. Now the shared pair of electron is attracted towards the more electronegative element and the covalent bond will become polar. Here I am saying that this X is more electronegative, so it will be attracted towards this side, and in this electron will be attracted towards carbon. And this only is called as inductive effect. The displacement of shared pair of electrons towards the more electronegative element is called inductive effect. Okay, here X is more electronegative, electrons are being attracted towards the X. Here carbon is more electronegative, so electrons are attracted towards the carbon. This only is known as inductive effect and we just represent it by capital I. And it is important to know that the shared electron pair is slightly displaced towards the more electronegative elements, but it remains in the same valence shell. Electron will remain same in the valence shell, though it is attracted towards the more electronegative element. The transfer of electrons can be seen here. Now, when an atom or group of different electronegativity is attached to the end of carbon chain, inductive effect comes into being. This is a long carbon chain. Let's see this example. When an atom or group of different electronegativity is attached to the end of carbon chain, this is a carbon chain. X attached here is more electronegative. This is a carbon chain again. Y here attached is less electronegative than this system. Both keep it in mind, one by one I will discuss. If the atom is more electronegative than the carbon, the electron pair of the sigma bond is displaced towards the electronegative atom. Here, as I am saying that X is more electronegative, so electrons will be attracted towards the X. The pair of electron of the sigma bond will be displaced towards the electronegative element. X is more electronegative, so electrons will be displaced towards the X. And if the carbon atom is more electronegative, then the atom or group which is attached, the electron pair is displaced towards the carbon atom. Here you can see the arrow will be on this side. Arrow will go on to the carbon side. In such cases, the bonds becomes polar. Polar, how we will denote it? Whichever is more electronegative, we will write delta minus, and which is less electronegative, we will put delta plus. Here also this is less electronegative, so delta plus, and carbon is more electronegative, so carbon will be just represented by delta minus. Now let's consider a carbon chain containing a strongly electronegative halogen atom. I will like to draw it. This is a carbon chain. C, C, C. Let's take the 4 carbon chain. It will be very long. 3 carbon chain attached with a halogen. Okay, this is my long chain compound and a strongly electronegative halogen atom. X is your halogen atom. It is attached to this carbon chain. Okay, now let's do the numbering. Halogen is here. This will be C1, this is C2, this is C3. Now the electrons of C1X. Now in this C1X, X is more electronegative than carbon. Then where the electron should shift? Which one will be positive and which one will be negative? Definitely this will you will show as delta minus, and this you will show as delta plus. What will happen to C2 now? What will happen? It is now plus. So what will happen? This carbon will attract the electron of C2. Small positive charge and negative charge has been developed by X and carbon. Now the small positive charge on C1, this small positive charge on C1 makes it to attract the sigma electrons of C2C1. Of this bond, electrons will be attracted by C1. Now C2 acquires a small positive charge and this will be lesser than the C1. So I have written delta delta plus. Now let's see the C3 carbon. Thus C3 will acquire small positive charge. It will be smaller than C2. Delta 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 plus. The positive charge on the carbon atoms decreases in the order. Which one is more positive? C1. Then C2. Then C3. Okay, and this is a permanent effect. You have to remember that inductive effect is a permanent effect. The permanent displacement of sigma electrons along a carbon chain due to the presence of an atom or group of different electronegativity is called inductive effect. Actually, the magnitude of inductive effect decreases as the distance from the group or atom of different electronegativity increases. And this electronegative effect becomes negligible after through 2-3 intertwining bonds. Okay, means if your chain is very long, C, 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 then X. If it is very long, then this inductive effect is remains only till few carbon. It is not that every carbon will be charged positive. It moves on to 3 or 4 carbon. After that, it becomes negligible. This inductive effect is of two types. As you can see that if a more electronegative atom is being attached and less electronegative element is being attached, so it will be of two types. We just call it plus I effect and minus I effect. What is minus I effect? In minus I effect, the atom group attached to the end of the carbon chain is more electronegative than carbon and is thus electron withdrawing. Means it is taking the electron from the carbon, so it is electron withdrawing group. And this is termed as minus I effect. And few groups are given here, few groups, atoms and groups in decreasing order. Means minus NO2, this is not minus, this is the bond. It won't mean minus, it is bond, means it is attached to carbon, that is showing here. It is not minus, okay, it is a bond which is attached to carbon. So you have to remember this group. Minus I effect means the electron withdrawing group, means the element which is more electronegative than carbon. So here the in decreasing order means NO2 is less than cyano group, is less than carboxylic group, less than fluorine, less than chlorine, less than bromine, less than iodine. This is minus I effect. Now see plus I effect. It is electron releasing effect, means the group or atom which is attached to carbon is less electronegative, then it will donate its electron to carbon. So here the order is given here. Methyl group, we will find that methyl group attached to carbon, how it is, it will be more clear when we will go to the reactions. Okay, here you have to remember what is inductive effect, its types. It is of two types and how it is, how electrons are being withdrawn and how the electrons are being released. So plus I and plus minus I effect.